colleagues, for your patience and your attention this evening. I just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge the people, the individuals, and the organizations that came to testify today. We are listening, and I did want to spend time during this hearing to hear your stories, and I really appreciate you coming here. For the folks that were in favor of the bill, your very heartfelt stories, they do go a very long way, and it means something to us, and we're listening. To the cities, the rural, and the urban municipalities that came to talk to us, I know that you have a tricky balance between the rights of the citizens and their public safety. I know that we've heard stories, and I also know that the cities are providing services, and I want to acknowledge that too, to be fair. Things like the camping bans in the open spaces in the Fort Collins area, that's a real thing. They came to talk to us today to plead their cases too. I heard for the first time from the public higher education institutions about some of their legitimate concerns around the bill and the safety of their students, and again, protecting the accessibility of their campuses to everybody. And I heard from my constituents, my friends and neighbors, who just pretty much across the board urged me to support this bill. I'm going to be a yes vote for today, and it is basically boiling down to my opinion about the bill, and I want to acknowledge the opponents, and I hear you too. However, for me, it is an opportunity to begin to decriminalize being homeless, and so I vote on this bill. Thank you.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an interesting day today. There was a Park County deputy named Kerrigan who was just slain, serving an eviction notice to someone. And so one of the people testifying today talked about, imagine if you are feeling like you're being chased by a lion, you have a feeling that you're the victim in Jaws, and you have that fight or flight notion in your head, and I can't excuse what any person acting out of fear does when they take another person's life, especially such a kind and dedicated public servant. But those are the same fears that we even feel as legislators. And so I'm reminded of the words of Martin Luther King, where he said that hate begets hate and violence begets violence. And through violence you may murder the liar, but you cannot murder the lie. And I encourage all of us to find more humane solutions. It's very interesting that both the opponents and proponents actually agree on the big solutions: rapid rehousing, housing first programs, problem-solving recovery courts. It's interesting that Denver Homeless Out Loud, when they came to me, they said, Representative Singer, we want to sit down with the city of Denver, not just one-on-one, but we want to have a mediator, a third party there, so we can talk to each other as people again. And I'm struck by the vision in this room right now. Struck by the vision of being surrounded by honored members of law enforcement, but not surrounded by case managers and social workers and the people that we hope provide the services that solve the problems that are listed in this bill. I called Colorado Coalition for Homeless. I called a number of other homeless organizations to say, could you provide something for the folks here? Now, maybe the timing wasn't good enough for them. But when we purport one thing and we see another thing, it strikes me as a huge problem. And so today I'm going to give a yes vote. I want to understand what it is that will stop the services from coming if a bill like this passes. I'm going to take another look at it on the floor, assuming it gets there. But we need to be very thoughtful about this. And when we hear services on one side, but all we see in our faces right now is law enforcement. How can we reconcile those two things? And I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to be a yes vote today in the hopes that we can continue the conversation. And assuming it doesn't pass, I hope we can continue the conversation and continue it in a way that doesn't beget hate and violence, but actually increases love, and light, and shines a further light on a terrifying, horrible problem.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you. And I echo the sentiments of my colleagues, and I thank the bill sponsors for bringing this. This is a critical, vital issue to our state and our nation. I'm not sure if everyone understands that I started my life in the African College in the Peace Corps, and then I spent 5.5 years living in Mozambique. And when I moved there, it was the poorest country in the world. When I moved home, I was absolutely devastated and embarrassed that the richest country in the world doesn't provide as well as some of the poorest countries in the world. It's absolutely part of my DNA. It's who I am. I've dedicated my entire life to the disabled. I'm a special education professional. I've never done anything in my life that has been about anything but helping the disadvantaged. And I think I've proven that by my professional and personal past. I'm also representative of my district and my city. We haven't done everything right helping the homeless in Fort Collins. We are struggling to address this issue. We provide housing. We just had a brand new affordable housing building go up where I'm hearing other communities can't do that. We're fortunate in Fort Collins. Not only are we a relatively good economy, but we also very generous. We raised taxes on ourselves in the middle of the Great Depression or Recession, and we raised them again on ourselves this last spring. We believe in public inputs, and we believe in our community and the strength of our community. So I'm mindful that I represent my city and district when I'm down here. I'm also mindful that we're making state laws. So today, very respectfully and with all diligence and commitment to this issue, I'm going to request a special study committee that we can do through the legislature to sit down this summer with as many people as we need to work on some role for the state, because I know how municipalities do bump up against each other. I'm very extremely respectfully today, I will be enough.
You were a no before you started.
Representative Danielson.
Sorry, I hate following Representative Art and Singer, but I just wanted to clarify it's late, and I just meant to say that as the bill passes, it's because of the cities that have waited with me, the other voices that I mentioned that oppose the bill, that I do respect where they're coming from. I hope that we keep working with them on the floor and beyond, but I just wanted to be clear, like Rep. Singer, that the door is open, and so are my ears, and so as we move forward, I wanted to be clear that that's very important to me. Thanks again.
Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Representatives Melton and Salazar, for bringing this bill. I think by doing so, you helped show us that we must always look for humanity in others. We must always look for dignity in others, whether we like them or not, whether they are our friends or not, whether they are whether they have a home or not. And that was hard for us. It was hard for me to listen to. A lot of the presentations, similar to Representative Arndt, I work with a lot of people who are very disadvantaged. I'm a teacher. I work in a youth correctional facility. Some of my kids have been homeless, or they're paroling homeless. I don't like to see that. I hate seeing that. And so I may not have been or be homeless myself, but I hope to think that I know what some people feel who I know on a daily basis and how they have felt. So I guess I would disagree with you a little bit, Representative Salazar, in that we do have a balance here. That's just our job. It's difficult. We balance. We have two sides here today. Which side do we agree with more? We have a yes or a no on this bill. And I had to balance the voices of the many
Versus your campaign
who
contributions.
came here to relay their experiences, but also hear the opposition. And I didn't hear any hate or anger in the opposition. I didn't hear any lack of care or lack of love. I heard people who really wanted limited resources. We're supposed to even make possibly even some Medicaid cuts this year. I wish we could solve this more. I wish we could have homes for everyone. I have concerns, however, about this bill. What it would do, what are the unintended consequences? What it will do. This is such a complex house of cards we have. And what would happen if we remove this one piece? What would happen? We heard from Ms. Orff some concerns from municipalities about some of the concerns they have. And so it's very sad. It tears me up that I have to vote on today.
Further comments? No further comments? Then let's talk, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I do not.
That means I get to have the last word. And I think, first of all, I just want to thank all of you for being here today, to testify and to share your story on this bill. I can tell you that I will never, ever be the same person because of the stories I heard today. I want to thank my colleagues. I thought I could do this in 4 hours, but all I kept hearing in my head is just move along, just move along. And I just couldn't move along because I don't think that would have given this hearing the appropriate respect and time that it needed. So I want to thank my colleagues for your undivided attention and then for the security and thank you for being here. I just want to share with you some notes that I took. And one of the things I learned from you is that it is extremely hard to be homeless in the state of Colorado. And this whole concept that you taught me about today, just move along, I just kept seeing that picture. I will never, ever look at a homeless person the same because it is truly hard to be homeless. Not only in Colorado, but just across our nation. We had people talk about looking for ladders of opportunities and finding none. And then being kind of behind some building, sleeping, and then being kicked and moved. I never thought about the whole concept of just being homeless and the amount of walking that you all have to do. Just walk, 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 walk. And then when you have everything you own in your backpack and then someone steals it, and then you don't have any ID to prove who you are, and just the whole sense of dignity, the lack of dignity it must feel like when you're downtown Denver and you know, wherever you are, because there's not just homelessness in Denver. I represent Arapahoe County in Aurora, which is north of Aurora. So I represent Colfax. And every time I drive down Colfax, I see homeless people every day carrying their items or pushing a cart. Or some homeless people are stuck in some of those hotels up and down Colfax. And it hurts me that in the state of Colorado, we cannot do better. I believe that we can do better because I want to see everyone to have a safe place to sleep. I would like for everyone to have a home. I think that this whole concept about the right to exist, someone said that, you know, just having the right to exist. And I think that this is just basic language that we have in this bill, that we're not going to, hopefully if it passed, I believe that everyone has a right to rest. I'm tired right now. And so I just want you to know that I relate to your stories. I care about your stories. This body cares about your stories. I want to thank the representative for bringing this bill back, not just once, twice, but 3 times. I really applaud your commitment and your loyalty to addressing this very serious topic. You have not shrunk, you have not retreated as it relates to this topic, and I just want to thank you. Thank you all for being here and respecting this building, and I think it's time to take a vote. Damien, please call the roll.
Yes.
Navarro.
No.
Ransom. Rosenthal.
No.
Singh.
No.
Singer. Yes. Thurlow. No. Klingensmith.
Yes.
Webster.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes. This bill fails, 5 to 6. I need a motion to TI.
So moved.
So moved by Representative Singh and seconded by
Second.
Thurlow. Please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt.
Yes.
Danielson.
No.
Klingensmith.
Yes.
Navarro. Ransom. Rosenthal.
Yep.
Singh.
Yes.
Singer.
Yeah.
Thurlow.
Yes.
Webster.
No.
Madam Chair.
No. That is voted 7-4. Thank you for your time, and thank you all for being here today. We are adjourned.